Oh, you guys, this is the One Piece King here today. I've tried to upload two videos actually. A few days ago it wouldn't really work. It actually like disabled it or something. Like YouTube is trying to make it to where I can't upload the videos, which I'm getting pretty mad about. It's like, excuse me, but I could technically have my content be whatever I like it to be and stuff, because it's like whatever we post on our videos that matters, like it matters about what we do, so YouTube can't really be a jerk and do all that. So yeah, but anyway, though, what I wanted to discuss about in this one is, well, actually, there's gonna be a lot to unpack, really, but not doing it all in one video and everything. I'm just gonna be talking about One Piece World Seeker and what I discovered. Um, so, well, DLC came out Friday of last week. I played it. It was decent, but problem that I have with it though is a bit of the story and a bit of how Law's well, not how his moveset or, how his whole thing works. It's his strength that really, kind of got down a bit. And I got really, I kind of like, went into like a complete about it. I was completely just because I had gotten into boss fights during the story, Crocodile, Aokiji, and Kizaru apparently. And when I went through those and everything, and I tried to fight off the bosses as much as I can, apparently Crocodile, I nearly died, like almost, but I didn't. I was close, but I didn't. I saved myself because thing with Crocodile's boss fight, it was like I had to do a lot of like, shambles like all over the place. I had to literally shift myself from like, so many other places. Aokiji, it was sort of the same thing because, but the hardest thing about the Aokiji fight was that, he had a lot more moves to use where usually in the Aokiji boss fights before he was more of like a pushover. Like you can easily beat him. He wasn't that difficult. He like it would be so easy to beat him. But now they kind of upped the bosses a bit to where they can use their different, move styles and stuff. So Aokiji is not gonna be like an easy boss fight anymore. That dude's gonna be a tank. Okay, Aokiji's gonna be a tank. Um, but yeah. But also a tiny thing though, still putting into the Law DLC and everything. The thing that I discovered was that it was actually the boss rates or something, or the boss like I guess I should say boss spawn rates. Um, they've actually, been spawning a lot more to where like you either go in fast travel one location and everything, you go to where they are, they'll always be there. They will like, for example, if you go to the like this is if you play the game by the way, if you go to this area called the graveyard, which apparently Aokiji spawns on this like little circle, like little circle hill or something. I mean it's not even that huge though, but it's like just so it's so unique that it's just this one circle hill spot with a chest over there. But Aokiji will always spawn there and everything. Before, it used to be like you had to wait, like a certain while for him to spawn there. But, with the Law DLC that just released out and everything, Aokiji will always spawn there. That's what I'm getting the case of because, I went and, yeah, I went to all the places of the bosses and and I thought that usually if I go like fast travel to their location, not a lot of times they would be there like, in the beginning, but I was wrong, because I was like, okay, this theory is that if I go, like, I'll go to this one place first, I'll fight this boss, So I went to the graveyard to see if Aokiji was there. Which I was playing as Luffy on the main story. Because I was like, because gonna be testing it more with Zoro and Sabo tomorrow, but I may never know. It might be like legit where for all four of the characters that all the bosses will spawn for all of them at once. So that's pretty cool. But I don't really know for Zoro and Sabo yet. We'll test them tomorrow, and then probably we'll update that in the comments in this video. Um, but it'll be pretty cool though. It'll be pretty cool. But anyway though, yeah. So I went to the graveyard. I went to the area that Aokiji spawns in the game. To kind of do for a boss battle. Aokiji showed up for the first time. And it's like, all right. Usually he's like my go-to boss whenever I feel like, all right, I'm feeling like I want to beat up all the bosses right now. I feel like I want to do this. I feel like I just want to, just fight all the bosses. I know how many there are in the game. Wish there was more, but, this is how much I'm getting. Or how much all of us are getting if y'all play the World Seeker game, because, I feel like we need more bosses, don't y'all? But, yeah. So I fought Aokiji, and, I realized he had a different move set. He was being a bit difficult. He wasn't being easy anymore, so I'm like, okay, you're upping it up. That's okay. That's fine. Um, but anyway, though, I beat him, and then, so then that's never, I started thinking that, okay, what if I went to another location? Well, the same thing happened again, where another boss in a different area will spawn for the first time. Like, they'll actually appear for the first time, and it won't be like, I have to repeatedly go kind of like a back and forth and wait for them to spawn. Like, no, it seemed to be the case that they will always be there for you to fight them continuously whenever you want, and they're always gonna be there. And so I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool, that's not so bad. And, and it started to get me thinking that, okay, now that we got this, that, it's not so bad. But, you know, but anyway, so, yeah, I went to go and still test my theory. I went to go, to Sapphire Town. There's kind of like this little area outside of it, and only Fujitora only hangs out here for some oddly reason. I don't know why, but apparently he does. He likes hanging out at this little shack area with a few Marine soldiers, and he's just chilling there, But I don't question. That's his spawn location of where he likes to chill. That's his business. But so I went to go there and everything to go and check because I kind of way back tried to figure out like if you can fight the bosses like outside of like the story or missions, and you can. Um, but yeah, so I went to go to his location to see if he was there, and better yet, he appeared there. He was there with his little soldiers, and I'm like, okay. It's like, that's pretty cool. So, I went and fought him too. I went and fought, Fujitora, and I beat him, which surprisingly enough, the dude kind of was using like, Gravito or the Gravity Blade. He kept using that move so many times, I thought he would have used a different move. But no, it was just Gravito all the time, Like, it was like this big old gravitational orb wave or something. Or not a wave, but it's like, this orb room or something, in which, if you get hit by it, it does a lot of damage. But, but if you don't get hit by it and everything, like if you either dodge or you block it, chances are, the dodge will probably, perfect dodge and everything will work. By the block though, not so well if you do like regular block already. But if you do a perfect block, you're gonna be set. You're gonna be fine. Um, so yeah, I went and beat him, got that out of the way. Then I went to go to, the Jade Bridge. I went to, like, I'm not gonna keep going on and basically say I went to, this place, I went to this place to check if the bosses were there. Basically, Smoker spawns at the Jade Bridge. Usually, people have also noticed that Smoker or Toshigi, either one will spawn there. Haven't really seen a Toshigi spawn at Jade Bridge, which makes me think like, okay, the only time I've ever seen Toshigi there is by a challenge mission that you get from the Zoro DLC. But other than that, though, you really don't see, you don't see her at all, like at the Jade Bridge or anywhere else for some reason. At least for my side of the game, I really don't. But some people have seen her in the Jade Bridge before in other marine locations, so I'm like, okay. Yeah, but I went and fought Smoker, because he appeared there when I went, and then I beat him, and, etc. for all the other ones. They all appeared there for the first time. I'm like, okay. So, the only one that I did notice that didn't appear, at least for Luffy's side of it, was, Akainu. And the reason why is because Akainu is special. And whenever I mean special, I mean like you have to, you kind of have to further in the story before you beat the game. And then at the Navy base, like, this big old area that's to the far right, Akainu will always spawn there, you know. Um at least as of right now he always will, but before it used to be like he won't always spawn there. It'll be like somewhat of a chance he'll spawn there, somewhat he'll not, you know. But in the case of Law DLC's release, Alkainu will always spawn there. Even, I even tested this whenever I was playing as Law and I was going around kind of collecting some chests and also kind of looking at the boss locations because I noticed that with Law it had all of them spawning at once, and so I'm like, that's interesting, like this is very interesting to know. So when I went to the Navy base with Law, Alkainu was there. I went and tried to find Alkainu as best as I could. I lost because my Law is not really as powerful like my Zoro, Luffy, and Sabo would be. Um, so, I lost there and everything, and I thought that it would make it to where Alkainu wouldn't spawn again. Um, was in the same area. I went back to the same spot, kind of was sneaking around, and then I checked, and he was still there. And I'm like, it's like, okay, like, Alkainu, you're still there? Like, okay, there ain't no way I'm winning that fight. I already just tested you with Law, and I will die. I won't make it, like, not with Law, but with Sabo or Zoro, or even Luffy at that matter, I will make it. Um, you know, but another thing though, I think I did mention this just earlier, is that all of the well, yeah. Well, with Aokiji, I did mention that his moves became very different. They became very diverse because how I always remembered Aokiji though, whenever I would always fight him in the beginning, like I said, Aokiji was more of like a pushover. You could always beat him easily all the time. The dude was like an easy boss. So, yeah. Um, but Aokiji though this time with the Law DLC, he became very different. Because normally what he would do is that he would have like his little ice saber sword, whenever you get close to him and he would hit you. Like he would always try to get close to you and do that, or either this other move where it's like he freezes you into like this icy cocoon or something and he kicks you. Like he flat out just kicks you, and then you take a lot of damage from that and stuff. Usually, whenever he does that before, it didn't do a lot, but now it does. Now it does a lot of damage, so you gotta be careful. So yeah, Okiji's moves became very diverse to where, not only does he do those two moves anymore when you fight him in the, like as a boss fight, he's actually got it where he uses the Ice Block Partisan. He also uses the Pheasant Beak move, which I don't think I've ever seen him really use that move before. It's new, so I'm like, okay, he uses the Pheasant Beak move. Two ways how he uses it too, just a little brief of it. He uses, like, the one way he uses it is basically as a quick way to where it only just sends out one. But the other one where he doesn't do it so quickly, he sends out three, and it's like, uh-oh. So be careful of that. Um, yeah. And then he also does I think he also does the ice time move. Yeah, I think he does ice time as well, and that one was also new. Never seen him do that before. Um, yeah, so there's Aokiji right there. Kizaru also got some new moves himself. The newest thing with Kizaru is that he zips all over the place. You know, before Kizaru would always be like, kind of just like he would zip to some places and stuff, but it would take him so long to zip to one place, and usually he would be like, shooting you with the finger lasers and stuff, the light lasers and stuff, and kind of firing them at you from like a far distance, and waiting for you to get up close. And sometimes he would even teleport to you and everything and hit you with some close moves, whether it be a kick or the sword that he has. Um, but other than that, though, that's it. But this time around with the Law DLC, he zips. He zips all over the place. He's like there one minute, he teleports to another, and then to another place. He tries to get as close to you as possible. To kind of hit you with the Murakumo sword, or flat out do like hundreds of kicks to your face. So, Kizaru really, they really did well with Kizaru. They made it to where his, whole speed of light ability really came into effect with this, with being a boss in the game, which I cannot put down a number of how many times I kind of just raged out because, when I was playing as Law and I was fighting Kizaru, I did get beat up because Kizaru was doing that maneuver there, and I'm like, this ain't fair, you know. But I finally did beat him, and I did beat the Law DLC, so yeah. Yeah, but that's Kizaru right there. Okainu actually also has something different with him too. I did a test with him, and Okainu's new thing is that you know, before Okainu would still have his moves and everything, like the Meteor Volcano, the Magma Fist, and then some other moves he has up his sleeve and everything. He still has all those, but the funniest thing about him though is that whenever he kind of does like he jumps and he kind of lands, kind of like a crushing blow on you. Um, Funny thing about that is that the magma, like the heating magma effect, actually stays. Like there's like little magma pools on the floor, and if you stand on it, of course it'll hurt you. So, whenever I noticed that, whenever I was fighting him as Law, I was like, that's a new one. It's like, I'm not gonna like this one, I'll kind of. You became somebody very different this time. Okay, okay. You know what? I'm probably screwed right now. I'm probably dead at this point. And then I was. I'm really trying to think of other ones that were new. I think Smoker just got quicker with his moves. I don't think I noticed anything different with his moves. Smoker got quicker with his moves. I think Tashigi the same way. Um, Trying to also think, Lucci still has the same moves, but I think his battle style has changed out a bit to where, he'll go and do his moves and everything, but after a while, whenever you don't hit him or something, or I think, like, it's either you don't hit him for a while, or you knock him down, and he kind of just, keeps shifting all over the place. He kind of just spawns up in the air for some oddly reason, and it's like, starting his whole style again. It's weird. Trying to think with the Vinsmokes, the Germas, I don't think there's nothing new with them. I think they just got a bit stronger with their moves, so that's okay. Crocodile, the only thing that's new with Crocodile, though, Crocodile still has the same moves. He still has, he still has the Sables, the Sandy Tornado, And he also has the La Spada, which, that numerous of times has gotten me. Like, Crocodile, out of all the bosses, has been the most, like, hardest one I've ever fought. I could beat all the other ones, no problem, but when it comes to Crocodile, it's like, something about him makes him so overpowered. You know what I mean? Like, be careful when you fight Crocodile if you ever get the game. Like, Crocodile is not a guy to be messing with. You can mess with all the other ones. They're no problem. But Crocodile, be freaking careful, okay? But Crocodile got himself a new move, and it's the Pasado move. I never really seen him use it, so it's a new mechanical, like, a new mechanic for Crocodile, and I'm like, okay, I'll accept that. Crocodile's now got another move in his arsenal there, and that's pretty cool. He's got another new technique. It's fine. But but Crocodile though still, like, I don't think he was as difficult as he was before. Because I beat him kind of pretty easily and everything. I almost thought I was gonna die again and stuff to his moves, but that's not the case. I survived Crocodile. I'm fine. Um, I'm trying to think of other bosses though, because I went and fought Katakuri in the challenge mode or something, or the challenge mission that you get to fight Katakuri with. Um, Katakuri still has the same moves and everything, the donuts and all that. So I mean, if anyone like would like comment down below if they have the game, like if y'all have fought like Katakuri the boss in the game with the lot of DLC update, does Katakuri get another move, or do his moves just get more improved? Like, do they get like a lot better and stronger and stuff? Because with some characters in there, that's kind of what the case is that their moves are getting a lot stronger and faster. Like they're basically being improved. But some of the other ones kind of get where it's like they get these random new styles or random new moves out of nowhere, and it's like they became so overpowered now. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. Um, so Katakuri, I don't know at the moment. I really don't. Um, there is one that I do know though, and that would be and basically that would be Isaac. Now, well, Isaac is the main, villain of the game, of basically the whole game arc itself, the story. But but Isaac though, with his suit that he always wears and everything, like his robotic suit, we don't get that as like a spawning location. I kind of wish that we did, because that would have been really cool to see, like an Isaac boss location. That would have been like, hey, that's pretty cool. Don't know if we're gonna get that for don't know if we're gonna get that for like Sabo, probably, because Sabo and Isaac, they fought each other and stuff. So honestly, I don't know if Sabo and Isaac will, like, I don't know if Isaac will now be like a boss location in which, you can buy them whenever you want. I think it only would work for Sabo's DLC, because Lucci, like, you basically do have to fight Lucci basically at the end, and you have to go and see him, so Lucci probably won't appear for like the Sabo side of it in the game, so maybe they probably might replace Lucci's location with Isaac, probably. I don't know. Excuse me. But but anyway though, with Isaac though, not his regular suit, but his anti-admiral suit is what he calls it. Before, it used to have just the first three admiral's powers, the Logias, Alkainu, Aokiji, and Kizaru. It used to have their powers in there. But then somehow he just got an upgrade in which he now has Fujitora's powers. He's got his gravity abilities in there. And so, I'm just kind of looking at it like, uh-oh. It's like, that's not good. And the only way how I knew about this was because I got this, it also came with the update with Law's DLC. It's this new thing called Boss Rush. Only Luffy is allowed to do it for some reason, because I checked with Law. I mean, I probably might have to check with Zoro and Sabo and see if they get it. But if they don't, that's okay, I guess. That's fine. I really wish they would have gotten it because I would have loved to see how the other three besides Luffy would, kind of improve and kind of show off a lot more of what, they can do. Because the greatest record I ever got so far was 12. I just got, like, I beat 12 people and everything in under, like, I don't know if it was 3 minutes or two. But anyway, though, I basically beat like 12 people was my best record. Tried to see if I could do better, but I don't think I can. I think I need like give me like 5 minutes, Yeah, like give me like 5 minutes of the time instead of it being like a low of like 3 or 4 minutes. I think I need like 5 minutes of it and everything for me to kind of just beat everybody, or I don't know if that's how much time it actually gives you. If it gives you like 5 minutes exactly, and you have to like, you have to like beat as many bosses as possible in 5 minutes. Um, like I don't know. I really don't know because some of the bosses weren't really, they were tricky. They were tricky, but who knows? Maybe there will be a way around it and everything to where I can probably raise my record up a bit. But anyway though, in the boss rush they did have Isaac's anti-admiral suit, in which I was like, well, you're supposed to fight that, like at the story and everything at the end of it anyway. So I could see why. But but anyway though, yeah. So with the anti-admiral suit, like I said, he's got the three admirals Logia powers, but he also has Fujitora's, the Paramecia, the gravity abilities and everything. With the gravity though, it slows you down, in which, like you're not stuck in that one spot. It's just you're kind of, moving slowly, and you got to get out of the circle because if you don't, Isaac will kind of use the magma abilities of Alkainu and kind of just, hurt you that way. Like, it'll be bad. But, but anyway, though, I thought that was interesting, for that, though, because I'm like, okay, but if Isaac gets an update, like, if we get another DLC or, like, another update to World Seeker, just saying if we ever did, um, does that mean that like anti-admiral suit? Does that mean he's also going to be getting like Smoker's ability and possibly Crocodile's as well? Because, or I mean, anybody that has Devil Fruit powers and everything. Because the remaining ones I can think of that he doesn't have, would be Crocodile. Well, there's also Buggy and Law, Luffy and Chopper and Brook. Um. Luffy, Chopper, Brook, not the Germas. The Germas got their own thing. And I don't know if he would copy that either. I don't know. Um, Trying to also think though, because he already has Kizaru's. Yeah, I think that's the only, the only few left and everything. I don't think he can really copy Luffy's rubber ability unless his suit kind of would be like, like the anti-admiral suit or whatever, or I guess at some point it'd be called a different name if he had all the powers at once, but if it only pertained to like the marine side of it, then I would say yeah, it's still called an anti-admiral suit because Smoker's a vice admiral, so he still has the admiral title sort of, but you get what I mean though. But yeah, but if you got Smoker's powers and everything, and is able to use the smoke, then I would be like, okay, that's a bigger problem. This thing's becoming way too overpowered now. So I don't know if that's going to be an update in the future, but if it is, I'm going to be like, well, that means there is more to come for this game. That means that there probably might be more DLCs being released as a, as probably like a, yeah, like it's like a almost like a season 2 DLC, type of thing. But but the problem is though is like what Bandai wants to focus on, I think, is focusing on the characters that really, have not shown to fight in the game and also have not shown to be like all grouped together. So, we have Luffy and Zoro basically, as Straw Hats already, But as for the other like seven, you know, we can't really, say that the other seven are going to be playable. I mean, obviously people want a Sanji DLC because I mean, I could see a story with that one and everything, because I remember I made my predictions of the Law DLC and the possible Buggy DLC if we ever got one. Um, but the Law DLC route, they never followed any of the routes at all. It was more like just dealing with like I guess sort of like a pirate slash marine kind of thing, because the Sky Island part, or what they call the floating island is what they called it, had both pirates and marines, alike, both on the area and stuff. Um so I don't know, like whenever I was playing through the story and everything, and I found this pirate captain and stuff, um well, no, it wasn't finding the pirate captain. It was the minute that whenever I landed back down on the, like in Sapphire Town and stuff, like I landed back down, on the ground level and stuff of the prison island. I went to Sapphire Town like I was, like the game tells me to go. I went there, and then, Crocodile surprisingly showed up, and I'm like, oh my god. It's like, okay, makes sense on why they send you, or why, Bandai chose you to be kind of like a crime boss in this whole, like in this whole like pirate game treasure or something. But, they could have really added in Doflamingo for this, because besides yourself, you've kind of been added into a lot of things, buddy. You've kind of been added into a lot of things. Like Bandai could have really reconsidered and been like, you know what? Like, we gave them one new character, which was, Katakuri, and he only showed up for like one particular part of the story. And well, this was for Sabo's DLC, but it was basically just like a boss battle, which was cool, but it was also for grabbing information on what Sabo wanted to know. And so I'm just sitting there thinking like, okay, like, yeah, we're getting all that and everything, but I don't know really. It's just, could we get other characters to show up in the game too? Because don't get me wrong, Katakuri, it was a small little thing with him. It was a small little thing with Katakuri just showing up and stuff. Um, really wish that his story would be a bit expanded upon, instead of it just being like, him and Brule were just there to be, watching what happens on, Prison Island and stuff. Like, I legit want to see a little bit of a story with, Katakuri and Brule, and basically making it to where they do have a role somewhere, to where they're not just for information. Like maybe Katakuri would leave out of the mirror world, and actually, would start walking around and start experiencing things of his own, start seeing it from a perspective. And possibly we might actually see Brulee's face for once, instead of it being like her name is mentioned but she's not shown, which kind of got me disappointed there. I was like, Brule, like the minute Katakuri said, like he was basically telling Brule to, pull Sabo back, out of the mirror world and everything, like to pull him out. I was like, Brule, do we get to see her? It's like, come on, not just one Whole Cake Island character and everything. Well, the Germas technically are a Whole Cake Island character as a whole. We didn't get the full Germas though. We didn't get Judge or Reiju. That would have been nice if we got them and stuff. Like, either Reiju could have been a character that could have just been like we talked to her and stuff, or she could have also been a boss, but not combined with the other siblings, or maybe she could be, sort of, where it's like, sometimes she'll join along with them, where it won't be just like fighting three of them, but it'll be four, and then sometimes there would be like, you would find Raichu by herself, in which you could fight her by herself. She doesn't need the help of her brothers. And as for Judge, I could see Judge basically just being like, sort of the same, where he's like either a boss character, kind of joining up with his kids, or basically by himself, or basically just one of those characters just to, talk to while he's there, make it a cameo appearance. Um, but anyway, though, it's just, like I said, though, the story I didn't really enjoy with Lost DLC. It was like, I mean, it made sense in a way. It was very, like, it was interesting in its own right, but it felt like it was missing a few components that they could have added in there. Like, kind of like the thing that I said with Crocodile. Doflamingo would have definitely been a great candidate to put in there and everything. Like, out of nowhere, Dolphy could have just randomly just, showed up and stuff. Like, basically, you know how a lot of the characters in the game make their own appearances and everything, like they show up. Like example would basically be Crocodile showing up with the sandstorm. He shows up. Buggy's either in a barrel, and he would kind of be all chopped parts and kind of put himself together. Kizaru teleports in to say hello. Like examples like that basically. With Dofi, I could definitely see it being like with Dofi I could definitely see it being like he's in the air and everything, and he kind of lands himself back down on the floor, and it's like, hello, I haven't seen you guys in forever. How are you doing? And it's like, oh shoot, like Dofi's here. Like, how did you break out of prison? Dofi would go on a little dialogue of, like, basically saying, like, oh yeah, I had a little help. I'm not gonna say how. I'm gonna say I just had a little help. And with that little help, here I am. Dofi would probably have a new, looking style to him too, like Crocodile does, and Buggy, and a few others. But Dolphy would definitely have a new style on him, and basically, he's kind of doing his own crime syndicate on Prison Island, and, doing all that kind of stuff. But funny thing is, though, is that he doesn't work for the government anymore, so he's also keeping it on the down low, so that way he doesn't get caught again. Because, he's also detected that, yeah, there's some powerful people on this island other than you and your little friends. Like, there's other people on this place too. Like, I'm not dealing with that right now. But, but I definitely would have loved to have Dolphy instead of a crocodile moment right there. Um, and then, like, there's also this other thing too, which, like, basically, it's kind of the new thing and stuff where it only affects with 3 of the DLCs and everything. Zoro's wasn't that bad, Zoro's wasn't really that bad. It was more like kind of just going through the storage room area and trying not to be detected, but I think I easily did that and everything. It wasn't so bad. It was completely just easy. Sabo's was a little bit hard because I get it. The Revolutionary Army, they're a bit like a secret, type of group. They don't really like to, they don't like to open themselves up. Like they'll do it whenever they need to, but as of like doing it all the time, they won't do that because they're not wanting to draw attention. And that's what Sabo doesn't want to do. So here and there, he'll have like a couple missions where he has to go and do, stuff secretly. He doesn't have to get spotted. But, I found it kind of ridiculous with him, but I did it anyway. The challenge mission was a bit difficult. I hated that so much. And then there was Law, kind of the same thing. Law had some stuff to do secretive with and everything. Like, he had to be sneaky. And I'm like, well, yeah, Law is sort of a sneaky guy. He's sort of the guy that would be like, yeah, I'll create a plan. I see all these guys in the area, like this group, and basically, I don't want to just charge in because I'm not gonna act like what Luffy does. Luffy would charge in. Me, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna charge in. What I'm gonna do is that I'm just gonna kind of just find a way around. I'm gonna, kind of teleport to, a few other safe areas in which I can't, be caught. But, I'm just kind of looking at it like, well, like you kind of can beat them and stuff, and seeing what you've been doing throughout the the story of the game, you didn't really care about being caught. You were more acting sort of like Luffy, not really jumping in, but more like, you know what? I'm confident enough to handle my own with you guys. I think I'm okay. You know? Like throughout the story, he wasn't so secretive. It was like, he would be fine with being like in a fight. He'd be fine with that. You know, it was just all messed up and everything. How there's a mission or two where you do have to play sneaky, and I don't know, but you know, but there's also a challenge mission though that I did notice for law and stuff, which I do have to do to get to get a trophy for them and stuff, like getting all the trophies for the law DLC, and then basically I'll say like that's it for the game for right now, unless Bandai thinks like, you know what, 2020 is gonna be coming up, like maybe in January or February or even like March or April, whenever the game was released and everything. They'll do it'll be like an anniversary of like a year, a 1 year anniversary of World Seeker being released, all the content they did, and it's like they'll feel proud of themselves, and most likely they'll be releasing a buggy DLC. But if if they don't want to work on World Seeker anymore after this Law DLC, I can kind of understand why, because they did all they could with the bosses and everything, and I feel like they don't want to add more, like they don't want to add more characters in there. But honestly though, like the Lost DLC should have went out with a bang. Like they should have definitely went out like added a few more new characters in there, like legit some actual new characters, like some new cameos to show up and everything in the game, and to kind of give Law a bigger story and not like it was like 4 or 5 chapters really. Like, well, actually, I think it was like 5 to 6 chapters is what Law's whole DLC, was and everything. Like, that's how long it really took. And I'm just sitting there looking at it like, no, 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 you don't need to do that. No, you know? Like, Law has so much potential, for his story to grow from the beginning to the end. You know, you only took the part on, from the little side mission and stuff, dealing with Sky Island and everything with, him and Luffy. But you didn't think to do the beginning. Yeah, you didn't think to do the beginning from when, we either see him, like his appearance the first time, to all the way to the end whenever he helps them, whenever there's like a crisis going on. We didn't get that. I was waiting for that to happen, whenever I beat up Kizaru, because I figured Kizaru was going to be the final boss, and, like that would be it and everything. And I thought, that it would basically be like, like him and the kid, I think is like Raul or something is his name. But him and the kid have a moment, and then, after they have their moment and everything, it kind of would cut over to Law having like a dialogue of himself where it's like, you know what? I went through a lot of things today. I may be like, a different type of guy because, I'm known as a pirate throughout the world, the worst generation. I'm known, to be like the Sergeant of Death. Like, I'm this really bad guy. But, in all reality though, like what I did for a kid on this day. Like basically Law would basically say like how, how his mood completely changed and stuff. Like, ever since he met the kid kind of helped, change out Law's outlook, of the whole thing too. Because Law is more like, I don't really give a single crap about all this. Like, kid, I was only looking for a treasure and everything, and I wanted to know if it was like, a real treasure or if it was a trap. He finds out later it's a trap, but yeah, it's more like, you know what? Now that I know, now my mission is done here. But then there was more to be done because the Marines got involved and they wanted to know the information. And then there was a little, backstory or something with, the Marines and Raul's dad. And they called him a traitor because Raul's father didn't want to give, the secrets of what the Dynastones were. Like, he didn't want to give the secrets away. So they said he was allying himself with pirates and called him a traitor, a liar. And, well, I saw a reference with Nolan the liar and everything with that. And I'm like, huh. It's like, if Usopp was here, Usopp most definitely would have been like, his dad wasn't a liar. If anything, you guys are the liars. Like, would throw back at that like a Jaya to Skypia reference, like right there. I would have been like, perfect. But, but yeah, but I imagine that that's what it would have been like and everything where, where Law would have inner dialogue at the end, after he has a moment with the kid and everything, some stuff happens, like he was chilling out on the floating island with the kid and everything, and, crisis happens, and so Law would then, like, kind of jump down and everything, like he would jump off of the floating island with, Raul, the kid, and, I mean, basically we would only see this from his perspective because it's his DLC and not from the main story, unless the main story wants to add that. But if not, there you go. But anyway, though, yeah, so Law would be the one falling off, like, falling off of the floating island. He'd be like, falling down and stuff, and land down and everything with the kid. And we would basically get to see the final scene where with the robots attacking like all over the island and everything, Law would then do the room and the shambles and kind of cut all the robots down. Like he would do that, and basically it would just be him smiling, like we would see him smiling and everything, and it would be like this final little message, like his final message of dialogue for his story would be like, you know what? I went through a lot of things today, but you know what? Having the adventure of my lifetime with this kid that, has a dream has been the best day of my life. And it would just be him smiling, and then there you go. Roll the credits. Like, roll the credits. That would be the best, like, in my opinion, that'd be the best way on how to truly end out his DLC story. That'd be the best way on how to do it, But I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. I mean, there was I think it does tie in with the main story with there was a kidnapping with Jen. I think her name, yeah, it's Jean, yeah, like two N's and an E. Jen. Yeah, Jen. But there was a kidnapping, like Jen was kidnapped by the Marines and stuff, in which Law had to call the Straw Hats for help to get Jen back. And I'm trying to remember back at the main story if I ever had to go through something like that. And I think I did, but it's like basically like, okay, that kind of connects back to the main story, but it's like, okay, but there's a final part that needs to connect back to the main story as well, and that's exactly the part that, like I said, how to truly end it, and roll the credits. Like, really, there's a lot of things that Bandai could have really done for Lost DLC, like, truly made it, like, the best experience of a DLC, because Zoro's, I mean, it was decent enough, but I felt like it could have used a little bit more for Zoro. Like, his legit beginning all the way to the end. For Sabo's the same way, because it seemed like he started out at the Navy base, which I honestly don't think that's true. I don't think he started there. I think honestly Sabo started from somewhere else and somehow just ended up at the Navy base where he chilled out and then started to work his way up. But I don't know. I really think that with the DLC stories, I really think there should have been some extensions from their legit beginning of them arriving on Person Island itself, all the way to, the crisis where it legitly ends, you know. So, that's kind of what I wished and everything with that. So, there you go. But overall, though, I mean, it was pretty decent, but wouldn't say I liked it very well because a lot of problems. Um, but it is what it is. That's how they made it. But, with the possible Buggy DLC, like I said, already made a video about that where, I talked about Buggy having his own, little adventure of how its title would be called like, a vacation of a lifetime or something like that, or basically like, you know, like basically a vacation on Person Island, but for Buggy, the dude that doesn't really know a lot what's going on and he thinks Person Island is gonna be a peaceful place, he wrong. He is wrong. Like Buggy would show up. Possibly we might have cameos of his crew. Like we get to see them how they look in the time skip and stuff because it's a new world, everybody's changed. So we would definitely see Kabaji, Mr. Three, Alvida, and Moji and Richie. We didn't get to see all the Buggy and Alvida Pirate Alliance and everything. Possibly might even see their ships, probably. I'm not sure. Or, maybe they might not even show the ships on there. I don't know, but if they do, that'd be pretty cool. Which, I mean, then later on, whenever the crisis happens and stuff, and Buggy's trying to leave, he's trying to find a ship and everything, so he's trying to go, off of the harbor and stuff, and then, the ship that he saved was the Sunny in the end, and he doesn't know, and it's like, I saved the brat's freaking ship. It's like, you know what? It's like, I'm done. I'm done. I can't get enough of this anymore. Like Buggy's done. But I hope we do get that and everything, and hopefully it won't be a short DLC on Buggy though. I know I said it on Law that I hope we don't get a short DLC on Law's story, but Bandai technically failed to do that. They're like, nope, we're giving a short story that on his too and everything, so there you go. And, Buggy's, Buggy's probably might be the same. But I hopefully, don't want to think that because, who knows, really. Like, Buggy's whole story of how his thing came to be probably might be a lot better than what the others were. So, and hopefully that might even open up even more, DLC opening routes and stuff. Not just for the Straw Hats, but, for other characters that didn't even have, their moments to shine. So, who really knows? But anyway, though, this will be the end of the video because, like I said, there's a lot to unpack and, to kind of really discuss out and stuff because there's been a lot of news. Some of it good news, some of it bad, but it's whatever. But anyway, though, sorry about that. But anyway, though, Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Leave a like on the video. Comment down below about your thoughts of Law's DLC, of how it made you feel. Did it make you feel like it was a good DLC? Did it feel like it needed more, content, more potential to grow? And what do you think we'll get from more of that game in the future if we ever do? But anyway, though, I'll be signing out right now. Bye.